KLK 102.5 FM. Good evening to you on your Tuesday. It's September 12th, 2023. This is a special community conversation. We normally don't do these in the evening, but since we do have Mr. Garrett Barnes, and he is an elected official, he's also an assistant principal by day. We try to work around his schedule because as an elected official, he does have some things that he would like to say to the constituents, so we definitely want to give him this opportunity. But don't worry. DJ King Vic, he will be in the mix soon as we get done with this interview. So don't turn the radios off just yet. Just bear with us. All right, so Garrett, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Mackenzie, and thank you for the time accommodation for having me on after school hours. So certainly helps me out.
Okay, so obviously with you being a member of the Quorum Court, what is the latest with the Quorum Court?
So we had a meeting last night, and it was a meeting where we went into our committees. And one thing that I'm particularly happy about is the merit-based pay that we have coming up at our next meeting in 2 weeks from yesterday. And this is a way that gives departments in the county a little bit more latitude with how they can incentivize different skill sets and work ethic that our county employees have, because we want to be sure that we compensate great employees as they should be compensated. And it helps with retention, it helps with recruitment, and I think it better serves all of our citizens with county employees that are have pay and compensation that's incentivized for their hard work.
Okay. And we definitely appreciate that you keep the citizens informed, because that was one of the things that you actually ran on when you ran for office, is letting people know what is going on with the Quorum Court. And you've actually pushed for some of those things. And of course, now there seems to be more transparency than there used to be on the court.
Well, I think there is. I think the court had a good thing going for it with Judge Marvin Day and his office with its county website. And as I said on this channel and this station and this segment before, I worked with Marvin very early on this year in February, actually, and we got the meeting agenda and information, or the packet that has all of our information for the meeting, not just the agenda. It has the ordinances, the resolutions, if there are any. It has financial reports, etc. And that's on the county website now, prior to our meetings, so that way the public can see exactly what we're going to be discussing and what we're going to be deliberating on prior to us having the meeting. So if they so choose, they can reach out to us, and our information and contact information is on the county website for each justice of the peace, and they could message us if we're on Facebook. They can do that. They could certainly, and I would be happy if they did, came to the meeting and maybe spoke during public comment about something, or when we do reach a point in the parliamentary procedure before voting on something, maybe a member of the public could be recognized to share a concern before a vote's taken. It's very influential for citizens to be empowered through information and facts and education about what's going on at any level of government, but especially their local government.
And of course, that's a great transition for our next subject. Of course, one of the things that is going on currently in the Arkansas legislature is the debate over the FOIA bill, and that is something that affects you as an elected official, because basically the things that you do are able to be FOIA. So I just want to kind of get your thoughts on all that's going on with that.
So to me, it's very alarming that one of the best FOIA laws in the entire country of the United States of America is being on the chopping block right now to be gutted. And it won't be the best FOIA law in the country if this, and we don't even really know what this is yet, I don't think. I don't think there's a bill right now. There may have been. I don't check Twitter during the school day, and I haven't checked it yet. But last I saw early this morning before school was there wasn't even a bill. And I saw Senator Flowers say it very directly and assertively yesterday about there not even being a bill, and rules were being suspended to change meeting times and different things. And I think she said it best when those that are in majority right now are doing absolutely anything they can to have it their way. And we already had the best FOIA law in the entire country. So it really makes zero sense that we would even consider this. And transparency is a hallmark of our republic. And when you start dwindling it down, we start really making some major mistakes.
And of course, one of the things that's interesting about this is often, especially in the state of Arkansas, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on things, but the opposition to this bill has been pretty bipartisan. So it's definitely something to watch for as this unfolds.
Oh, I totally agree. I've seen some things locally on Facebook where Ira Stevens is acknowledging that she agrees with Chenoa Summers. And, I thought it would be a very cold day in a certain place that we all know what it is before that happened. But when you start messing with something like the FOIA law in Arkansas, you really start seeing, thankfully, you start seeing citizens put aside some of these partisan differences that they have on other issues, and they join together, hopefully, and defeat this. And I think it's great. I think the more things that we can focus on that are mutual values, mutual concerns, we can pass mutual legislation to reach mutual goals. And that's really what we're here for, is to do that as elected officials, is to not just do what the Democrats want, not just do what the Republicans want, or not just do what the liberals want or conservatives want. It's what the community needs. And this is a very good example of that.
And of course, speaking of community, that brings me to the next topic. That was a recent library meeting that basically kind of generated a little bit of talk and controversy. Kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that and kind of let the people know what exactly transpired.
So could you be a little more specific on the library meeting?
Well, the basic on the library, basically, of course, one of the main issues with the library for the past 2 years is basically debates over which books are appropriate or not appropriate to be displayed in the library. And at the meeting, there were some books that were challenged, and there's been people talking about that on social media. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on that, because that was one of the things that you also had a campaign about and have actually weighed in on.
Totally. I fully support our Craighead County Jonesboro Public Library Director, Vanessa Adams, and her staff. And I believe that they execute very good decisions when deciding what materials to purchase for our library. They're trained in how to do that. And I also think that it's perfectly legitimate for there to be a challenge process. And that's nothing new, though. The library here in Jonesboro, as far as I can recall and remember, has always had a challenge process. I think where we start getting to an area that we should be very careful about is, what are we deciding in terms of the general public? What are we deciding for other people's kids? The library is supposed to be an open place where all are welcome. And if there's a book that somebody disagrees with, then I think we ought to be considerate that there may be parents out there that don't share the same viewpoint as they share. They feel that it's a legitimate book. And, I really don't believe there's too many 8-year-olds or 10-year-olds or 12-year-olds that are going to the library themselves and checking out their own books without anybody knowing about it. And if they are, then, that parent may not just be inattentive. They may just be busy and they don't realize what books they have. But I certainly think that's a decision that individual parent makes. That's not a decision that somebody else makes because they disagree with the content of the book. And, one thing that we're really not ever talking about as much as we should, Leganzi, and those out there on Facebook, in my opinion, when it comes to the materials and what's obscene or what's not obscene, the act regarding the libraries, what's that, 672 maybe?
Yes.
It still has the injunction on it, so it's not a law right now. So, when we're looking at what is obscene, there's already federal statutes for that and federal law, and there's also the Miller test out there for that. So I really don't think we need to be circumventing those, and we especially don't need to be circumventing parents when they're the ones that should decide what material is appropriate for their child or not. And if their child is going to the library on their own, then I think at the end of the day, it's ultimately the responsibility of that parent that while they may not be able to take their child to the library because they work, or maybe they're not physically able at the time, that they have those conversations with their child and know what's going on in their life, and they're attentive to, you know, your kid's not going to keep a secret from you if they trust you and if they feel like they can share anything with you. And that's what I hope for my soon-to-be 3-year-old Tate and my 10-month-old Harvey. I don't want them to ever feel anything in life and think, oh man, I can't tell my dad. If something that they're going through or that they're thinking about or that they're experiencing, I want them to think, oh, I need to tell my dad. My dad loves me. My dad cares about me. My dad will listen to me. And, that's the type of relationship that I want to have with my kids and children. And that way I won't be too concerned about secrets because my kids will want to tell me and they won't be secrets.
And speaking of kids, that's one thing that I can definitely say about you is that you, your wife, and your kids, they are everywhere. They're all over town. In fact, I saw you at Local Fest. So let's go talk a little bit about, because we want to make sure that we get a chance to plug your town hall, some of the places that you've been, and also to promote your next town hall.
So these town halls, they were decided in January of this year. They're quarterly town halls, so they're every 3 months. We had the first one in March, and it's always the last Thursday of the month, because that's not a church night, that's not a city council meeting night that I'm aware of, it's not a quorum court meeting night. It's a pretty open night in the week, and it's not on a Friday either, because who wants to come to a town hall on a Friday? But these were all decided at one time and shared at the same time well in advance. It's not like it was a whimsical, 24-hour, 36-hour heads up, sudden, pull up a chair, I'm going to have a town hall kind of thing. These were thought out well in advance, and the locations were picked near or in my district of District 2. So the first one we had in March was at the E. Boone Watson Center, and the second one that we had was in June, and it was at Native Brew Works on G Street. And they're always at the same time. They're always at 5:30. So, and I always advertise in the Jonesboro Sun on Fridays, the month of my town halls. So every Friday in September, there's an ad in the Jonesboro Sun in the church section that states where it's at, when it is. And this next one that we're going to have is 2 weeks from today, September 26th, at 5:30 p.m. at the Cricket County Jonesboro Public Library Round Room. And I'm going to make my presentation 15 minutes. I'm setting a timer, a stopwatch, and I want somebody in the crowd, if they haven't already said it before, to tell me time's up, be quiet for once, Garrett. And we're going to transition from that brief presentation to a community guest panel. And I haven't posted on Facebook yet because I'm still waiting to confirm one more panelist, but I already have confirmation from 4 community members that represent distinct categories of our community for this next one on the 26th of September at the library. It's Miss Emma Agnew from the North Jonesboro Community Development Commission. We have Shamal Carter from...
Who was on our Facebook Live feed, and he says, yo, I'm excited about it.
Who said that?
Shamal. He's watching on our Facebook Live feed.
Hey, what's up, brother?
And also, since we're doing Facebook shouts, I also got to shout out City Council Lady Janice Prather Porter. Appreciate you for checking in on our live feed as well.
Hi, Janice. It's good seeing you. We last saw each other at the grand opening for the North Jonesboro Community Development Commission. We spoke extensively there about ways that the city of Jonesboro and its city council and Cricket County and the Quorum Court can work together collaboratively, like Greene County and Paragould has done with their farmers market. But the other panelist that we have is Jackson Spencer. He's a co-owner of Native Brew Works. He's a small local business owner doing a phenomenal job helping to revitalize G Street over there with their business in the West End. And we have Casey Kidd with Arkansas Balance of Care. And so these panelists being on my at my next town hall, it is not an endorsement or support from them for me, just like Kaylee K is not an endorsement of me for being here this evening. They simply represent a faction of our community through their jobs to where I find very interesting. And constituents do too. That they represent something that constituents have told me over and over that they want to see more things done for, whether it's our youth or whether it's housing or whether it's homelessness or whether it's being small business friendly here in Craighead County. So that's why they got an invite. The last panelist I'm going to have is going to be a member of the youth community, and waiting to talk to their parent about that, but they've already told a mutual friend of ours that they want their daughter to participate in it. So we're going to be catching up here really soon. We're going to have questions for the panel that I'll ask, they'll answer, and then hopefully other panelists will chime in, and as well as the public. That's when we're going to have public comment too, is during the guest panel discussion on September 26th at the library.
Okay, and definitely you want to make sure that you have your face up in a place for that town hall. But you're not the only elected official who has been hosting town halls lately. Our very own Senator Dan Sullivan recently had a town hall, and this actually came of a challenge of a little back and forth between him and his former opponent, Shanoa Summers. I actually did live stream the town hall. You can go watch that on our Facebook if you want to. But I just want to get your thoughts on what the senator said at the town hall, anything that he talked about.
Well, I didn't watch it. I'm glad he's having them, but I didn't watch it. I saw some of the comments on the live stream after the fact, but I didn't watch it.
Okay. Well, we appreciate both him and you. And, of course, we encourage all of our other elected officials to host town halls. Meet the people where they are so that they can hear from you. All right. We got about 2.5 minutes left. This 15 minutes went by really quick. So is there anything else that you want to say to your constituents out there, anybody that's watching or anyone that's listening?
So I want to say thank you, first off. My family, Maggie, Tate, and Harvey, and I are extremely grateful to get to serve you on the Craighead County Quorum Court as Justice of the Peace for District 2. And we look forward to seeing you at the next community event that we will be at. Like Leganzi said, it is a family affair when we go out. We take plenty of sunblock, plenty of water when it's sunny and hot outside, and we make a fun day of it, getting to see constituents like yourself. And we consider the town halls or any events that we go to of the community to be part of what we're supposed to do. It's nothing, in our opinion, that's above and beyond. We're supposed to be there if we can. Now, kid's sick, we're not going to be there, and one of us is not going to be there, but it truly is a family affair for us, and we could not be more grateful and appreciative of you all for giving us this opportunity to serve you in this term right now.
And we definitely thank you for stopping in and, of course, requesting this opportunity for this time. And that's why we wanted to make sure that we gave you the opportunity. Of course, that goes for all of our other elected officials. If you want to come on Community Conversations, we will work with you to get you on so that, yes.
One more quick shout out. So September 26th, 5:30 at the Craighead County Round Room in the library. We're also going to have free refreshments provided by my family and I to all of those in attendance from Curry Girl and Southern Treats. So I want to send a shout out to Curry Girl and Southern Treats for putting together some delicious refreshments for our attendees. So when you come, sign in and get you something tasty from one of those two locally owned black businesses, and we certainly appreciate it.
All right, and we definitely appreciate you for stopping by. That's going to do it for this edition of Community Conversation. And, of course, as you mentioned earlier, by having you on, that does not mean we endorse, support, or oppose you, but we provide this for informational purposes only. Okay, we've talked long enough. I know you all are ready for DJ King Vic. He's ready. He's right here. He's about to be on the ones and twos to have you in the mix. You guys have a great and blessed day. This is KLEK on 2.5 FM.